Welcome to the Train Like a King podcast, dedicated to all things paddling, designed to help paddlers of all levels get motivated to get out on the water. Tune in, grab your paddle, and let's train like a king. Hey guys, welcome back to another Train Like a King podcast episode. On this episode, I'm going to dive into the World Championships in Samoa recently. So first off, I want to start this episode by saying thank you to Waka'ama New Zealand, for choosing me as coach of the elite men's team again. It was another awesome year, and I also thank everyone who put their hand up to partake in this team, to be a part of this team, and all of the men who made it to the final squad, but also everyone who helped along the way, helped us become the team that we inevitably were in the end. But yeah, hugely grateful to have finished my second campaign. Last year was London Sprints, and this year was my first distance coaching campaign in Samoa. And yeah, it was a great experience. Loved Samoa, loved the boys, loved the vibe, the culture. Unfortunately, we didn't get the dub, which is what every team should aim for. If you don't, I think in every coach's mind, the goal is to win. Otherwise, maybe you don't necessarily need a coach. But, in my opinion, if you aim for the top, then it's okay if you fall short. At least you were aiming for the top and preparing as best that you could to be the best that you could. That's important. You don't want to go into a world champs already accepting defeat. You don't want to be defeated before you get to the world champs. So I'm going to go through a few questions here. I've got a few questions in front of me. First question is, what is the significance of the recent World Champs in Samoa? I think it was very significant because first time I've been to Samoa, and they held a really, really good event, especially for a small country like that. And it's good for the paddling in Samoa. It only would have helped to motivate local paddlers and hopefully bring in new paddlers to start. But I really, really enjoyed my time there in Samoa, especially with the boys and the other New Zealand teams. Next question, can you explain the training and prep process for the championships? Yeah, so basically, the way that we do it back home is we give every paddler in New Zealand a chance to be in the elite team. We give any paddler the opportunity to put their hand up to partake in the trials and the selection process. Ultimately, it's up to the coach to make that final selection, but it's also kind of, up to the coach, but also with Waka'ama New Zealand to create that selection process also. There's got to be a little bit of wiggle room there in terms of selection, amount of trials and things like that. So one thing I will say about this way of doing things is, and one of the things that you have to realize is that probably the hardest part about being a coach of a team of paddlers who don't necessarily come from the same club, different regions around New Zealand, is the biggest fact is that you have very limited time in the boat together, and that's the biggest challenge I would say for a coach, is basically getting time together, getting blend together. So, but then at the same time, we're doing this out of passion. We're not professional athletes, so paddlers have to work around their work schedules. They don't have every weekend off, let alone weekday. So you have to schedule camps that everyone can make. And, you know, a rough rule of thumb is, you know, anywhere between 4 to 5, maybe 6 camps in total, just on the weekends, you know, get together. If you were to compare that to, you know, a team, say a club team, who spend majority of their time together, multiple sessions in a week, that's the biggest challenge, is trying to match that time together in a national setting, I guess. So if you compare, say, Shalva'a, who train every day together, Monday to Friday, whatever, Monday to Saturday, morning, afternoon together, the feeling and the connection that you get from that is unmatched. But, you know, at the same time, you want to give everyone a chance. You want to get all the top paddlers, and it's a challenge, but it's a challenge that I enjoy, and it is obviously very difficult because you know you're always going to get outside you know, opinions or views on selections, and you know, that's just human nature. So but I really enjoy that challenge, and yeah, really stoked with the final selection, and stoked with the boys' work that they put in, and the commitment to the training camps, and just the general vibe of the campaign was awesome. Another awesome campaign, same as last year. I loved London campaign too. So yeah, we trained as hard as we could on our own, and then we got together in the camps and really worked on blend and stuff like that. But luckily we had a lot of experience in the boat to help us. As a coach, what strategies were key to your team's success at the championships? So we finished with a bronze medal, and as a coach, I guess for me, there's a range of things that contribute to success in a paddling race. Obviously, number one, physical. You know, physical preparation is key. That's why, you know, you take a lot of physical testing into account. You know, aerobic fitness, strength, things like that. However, you also have to take into account, you know, just simple things like seating positions, blend, ability to change, I guess, in terms of technique, so that you can blend with other paddlers, a little bit of mindset and mental preparation, things like that. There's a lot to take into account. But every coach will deal with that in their own way, I guess. But I think the key, the tip of the spear, or the cherry on top to any team, you know, as physical as you can be, as fit and physically ready you can be, there always needs to be a connection, like a strong connection within the team, a good vibe, good feeling, you know, positive, happy, but also determined and ready, hungry to fight. Like, that's the key. That's the missing link. You can have all the best paddlers in one boat, but if they don't get along, you know, then things are going to be a little bit off when you're paddling. So that's you know, working on that team culture, that, you know, team activities, culture, that type of stuff is really just as important as the training. I think train first, then do the you know, the team bonding, because you can't forget the training, of course. So next question, any standout moments or challenges during the competition in Samoa? Yes, so I guess this is a good question to start talking about the race itself. So I think we prepared really well physically, and mentally. we had a lot of experience in our boat, and we were prepared to go out there and give it our all, which I believe we did. The biggest challenge in Samoa was definitely by far the heat, which during our training runs, we knew it was going to be tough, like tougher than, Tahiti heat or Hawaii heat. It's a different kind of heat, and when it sets in, doesn't matter how fit you are or strong you are, it feels like you're starting to melt. And I think the first lap was really good for us. We were holding our own with Tahiti. We had moments of good surfing legs in that where we pulled in front of Tahiti. I think Tahiti kind of came back though in the surf towards the end. The surf was a really important part, and I think that was the kind of the money maker. If you surfed well, get a good position into the flat, you didn't have to work as hard. On our second lap, however, I feel like that's probably when the heat got to us a little bit more, and we couldn't quite stick to Tahiti. And then we had Hawaii, who, for the first time in the race, started to pass us. So Hawaii passed us, and then, that final surf leg, they got within range of Tahiti. And then, as everyone knows, Tahiti's whahoro, or seat 1, passed out due to heat stroke. And Hawaii were able to capitalize on that and take the win in the last 250 meters. Based on time, we weren't incredibly far behind, which for me, I feel like on any given day, anything could have likely happened in that race. For us, I think we were physically ready and prepared well. We had a super strong team. One thing I think that let us down a little bit was the conditions itself. So if you didn't see the race, it was also quite rough. So not only the heat was a challenge, but the conditions. And I would say that our crew was probably one of the heavier crews, which isn't great when you're heading into the headwind and taking in a lot of water. The more weight, the more impact when you go up and down the waves, and so forth. So I think that let us down a little bit. Maybe if the conditions were a little bit lighter, I think our boys would have been able to express their strength and fitness a little bit more. But that's racing. Hey, we're very, very happy with the bronze medal, and I know I learned a lot as a coach this campaign. So yeah, 2 years now of racing and learning. And so yeah, next question. Balancing roles as paddler and coach, how do you manage that? So for me, it is a little bit difficult, especially when you're trying to coach during the training camps. You've got limited time, but you're also trying to paddle with the team and stay fit and, have myself up for selection. It is a little bit difficult. I know one day I'll solely be coaching, which, I kind of look forward to, but kind of not, because it means I'm slowing down. But yeah, I think as a coach, it's also nice to be in the crew as well, because you get a little bit more in-depth analysis of the boys and how they're thinking, how they're feeling, and how the canoe feels and stuff like that. So it's not too bad. It's the management stuff, which thankfully have a great manager. We had a great manager for 2 campaigns, Irene, Matila Cooper. She's been awesome, and she, takes a lot of the stress off my shoulders for all of the the external stuff that goes on around the team. Next question. Valuable lessons from your Samoa experience for paddlers and coaches. Valuable lessons. You can never prepare enough, You can never prepare enough into, not just physically, but take into account every little element that you can. 1%ers, they all add up. I think we did really well, but you can always do more. And it's, again, coming back to, we're not professional athletes. It's whatever you push for more just requires more sacrifice. So, maybe at the end of the day, the more you can sacrifice, the more reward you get. Keep pushing. What are your future goals as paddler and coach in championship competitions? So obviously next year is Hawaii's sprint campaign, and I know a lot of Kiwis, New Zealanders are gearing up for that one. It should be a really good one. As you know, you tend to get more numbers out of sprints because there's club divisions and you get multiple V1 representatives as opposed to one representative at the world distance. So it's going to be a really awesome campaign. So I'm pretty keen to put my hand up again for coaching position next year. We'll see who else puts their hand up, and whether, like, I'm in New Zealand, enjoying what I'm doing, and I always try and, I guess, learn from past experiences, having done 2 campaigns now, and really use that, those lessons learned to make a better campaign the next time round. Better, stronger, faster, whatever. So that's the future. Hawaii 2024. Also going to aim to be a paddler there too. So, like I said, trying not to slow down. But Anyway, whānau, that's all for this episode. Thank you guys for listening. I know it's been a little while since I've dropped one of these podcasts, but I wanted to get it done before too many things leave my mind. Big congratulations again to Hawaii for taking the win in the Open Men's Division, and to Tahiti for second place and leading the race majority of the duration. And big ups to my boys, all of yous for all the hard work and commitment, and really enjoyed our time in Samoa. And those are, one thing they can't take away from us is those experiences and those memories. No matter what, we can always take those home with us. So thank you guys for listening. Next episode, I'll be talking about my time spent in Brazil for the Molocabra race. Catch you guys later. Thank you for listening to another episode on the Train Like a King podcast. Check out trainlikeaking.com for training plans, merchandise, and coaching opportunities. If you haven't already, give us a follow so you don't miss another episode. Catch you on the next one.